guys, welcome to our channel. My name is Harriet Kawili. I am so glad that you're able to join us today. If this is your first time, we are more than happy to have you. If this is not your first time, just know that it's always a pleasure to have you around. In this channel, we do all things upliftment, encouragement, and strengthen our relationship with God. So if you like the contents of this channel, please like, share, and subscribe at the end of the video so you can get more contents like this and you can be notified whenever we release any. So today, as I promised, I think in the last two videos, that I'm gonna talk about things that can hinder you from fulfilling your God's given assignment. If you have not watched the video that is talking about fulfilling our purpose, fulfilling our God's given assignment, I ask you to go back and look for that video, and I will also link the video at the end of today's video so you can go back and listen and hear so you can get a picture of what I'm talking about. Today, as I said, I'm going to talk about things that can hinder us from fulfilling our God's given assignments. As we all know, God has given all of us an assignment to do on this earth. So there are things that can really hinder you, that can stop you from fulfilling your assignments, from achieving what God has asked you to do. There are several things that are there that can stop someone from doing what God has asked them to do. And today I want to talk about one of them. And today I'm going to talk about lack of self-discipline. I like to talk about this because we know in any area of our lives, without self-discipline, it's so hard to really acquire, to achieve, to fulfill our goals, to fulfill our destinies. Self-discipline plays a major part in our. So to start with, I would like to define what is self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control one's impulse, emotions, or behavior in order to accomplish a desired goal, in order to fulfill a certain outcome that you have blessed there for yourself. Self-discipline involves making conscious choices and deliberate actions that will help someone achieve the desired goal, irrespective of distractions, temptations, or any difficulty that they face along the way. So when they're deciding, making up their mind to fulfill a long-term objective of their goals without caring what's happening so that they can meet out their goal, that's what we call self-discipline. Is very essential when exerting self-willpower because it helps us stay focused in what we're looking at, in what we desire to achieve, desire to be. And we don't look at any internal or external factor that can be a challenge when we decide and make up our minds to do what we have desired deep in our hearts to achieve anything in this life. In order to do what God has called you to do, you really have to make up your mind and be conscious, take deliberate actions to stay focused and stay on course and do what you're supposed to do, despite of whatever is surrounding you. And so there's key elements. When we talk about self-discipline, there are key elements that make self-discipline. One of the key elements that is involved in self-discipline is setting up clear goals. You really have to set up clear goals because we are talking about self-discipline, which is achieving a desired goal. So you have to have the goals. The goals have to be clear, they have to be realistic, and they have to be achievable. Like you really have to be true to yourself that these are the goals that I want to achieve. Are they realistic? Are they achievable? It is something that I think I can do. Because sometimes we get disappointed when we don't achieve our goals. But it's because we don't put down realistic goals. Something that you know that within my means, with what I have, this is what I can do. Now, after you have set up your clear goals, you have to put down a roadmap of actions. I have my goals there. This is what I want to do. This is what God has called me to do. What actions can I take to achieve what I need to do? What things can be done to accomplish what God has asked me to do? You have to sit down and create a roadmap of actions that I will do this and then I will do that. These are the things that will help me to accomplish whatever I'm supposed to accomplish. So that is one of the key elements of self-discipline. If you do not have clear goals, if you do not have a roadmap of actions, what you need to do to achieve those goals, you will not be disciplined because you will do things anyhow, anytime you want. And once you lack that, and that is the lack of self-discipline, you cannot do what God has asked you to do. And here I'm talking about things of God and even things in your own life. You really have to learn to set clear goals of what you need to achieve and put the goals down and start taking actions. That's number one. That's the first key element. Another key element that contributes to self-discipline is creating routine in the habits. Now that you have your goals down, the roadmap of actions already prepared, you have to start creating routines and habits that can complement the actions that you want to take. Everything has to start with a routine or habit. I have heard someone say that it takes 21 days for someone to create a habit, but that habit starts with a routine. You have to create a routine that works for you. The routine that will work with your timetable, with what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And you will start seeing in your life slowly you're starting to adjust. And that one routine becomes a habit. Most of the time it's hard to actually adjust, to start doing or implementing new routine in our already busy schedule, but it's doable. So you start slowly, and with time, your mind, your body will adjust to that. And that's when we call it behavior, because we've been doing it for some time now. It's that little routine that can make a difference in your life, but you have to start from somewhere. A routine will help you stay focused and organized. I'll give an example. For example, you make your own routine and say, my goal, for example, is to attain a certain weight. For me to do that, there are changes that I need to make in my diet, but I also have to be going to the gym. But since my schedule is so busy, maybe I need to create time 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, go to the gym 3 times a week. That becomes a routine. You have to be focused on that routine. So 5 a.m., maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll be going to the gym. Come rain, come sunshine. Because I have a goal in mind, I'll be going to the gym. At first, your body won't agree with that because your body is used to sleep at that time. But you will see, with time, you start seeing changes. Your body starts adjusting. The person who never used to wake up in the morning, they'll find themselves 5 a.m., they're already awake because the body is used to that. And you will continue, and with time, you'll be surprised. It will be part of you. So you create that routine, and then you'll be able to achieve your desired goal. Maybe you want to start reading your Bible. It's been hard to read a Bible. okay, maybe I will create 5 minutes a day. Anytime I have spare 5 minutes, I'll go to my phone, I'll go to my Bible and open a verse and read, meditate for 5 minutes a day. And consciously, with the time you find yourself doing that without even reminding yourself. Maybe at first you have to put an alarm to do that, but with the time it will be just part of you. You remember, oh, I've not read my Bible today. It helps you. It helps you stay focused. It helps you stay organized. So these routines and the habits help us to be disciplined. Because you've set up your mind to go to the gym at 5 a.m., because you've decided maybe every day at 9 p.m. I'm going to read my Bible for 5 minutes, you start getting disciplined in that area. And then slowly, you become better. And that's how you start fulfilling your assignment. It's always by starting with the little things that we can do and change in our daily routine. Another element that contributes to self-discipline. Remember, we are talking about how lack of self-discipline can make you not fulfill your God's given assignment. It means if you lack all these things, you won't be able to be disciplined. And without discipline, in any area of our lives, it's hard for us to achieve what we want to achieve. Another one is practicing patience. As they say, practice makes it perfect. When you start something new, when you introduce a new thing in your life or in your body, it doesn't immediately, get perfect or excellent. It takes time, one step at a time, and you see yourself start getting better. But you have to learn to be patient. Most of the time we want to, do things and you want them to be perfect the next day. Sometimes we're so impatient. When it doesn't, you don't see results in a certain period of time, you give up. Now, practice and patience. You have to be patient while you keep practicing. The more you do, the more you get better. You start your prayer 5 minutes. But with time, you see yourself, okay, since I'm just reading a word for 5 minutes, how about I start with 2 songs of praise, 2 songs of worship? That will be maybe 7 minutes. Then I'll go to reading my word. I start walking 5 minutes a day around the neighborhood. How about I increase to like 10 minutes a day? Little by little, the more you practice, the more you know tactics, the more you know how to do things better, the more you know how to deal with your failures, the more you know how to deal with distractions. So you know how to deal with the things that are trying to stop you. Right? Because the body is not used to waking up that early. The body is not used to do exercise. You have to be patient with it to adjust. And with time, I assure you, it will get better if you choose to be patient and persistent. You don't just give up immediately when you don't see results. Most of the people that we see doing better today, who are successful, are the people who have learned to practice patience. So they have learned with time how things work. They have learned to create the routines that works for them. They've learned to create habits that make them different. And so you can do the same when it comes to the things of God. That God is telling me to do this. Maybe I have no idea. I don't even know where to start with this. But let me start by little with what I know, with what I have. And I keep practicing. And you start getting better and better and better. That is an element of self-discipline. Another element of self-discipline is accountability. You have to be ready And you have to be able to be accountable with your own actions. Because you are the one who made up your mind and decided that this is what I wanted to. We don't say that when you start, introducing new positive habits and routines and ideas, you won't fail. You might fail. You might maybe go in a different way. So you have to learn to be accountable to yourself. Know that this one I've done is wrong. Let me correct it and go back on track. You have to be accountable to the people above you. Most of the time when God calls us and tell us and give us assignments, He has already placed people that will help you, will direct you in fulfilling that assignment. You have to be accountable to those people. If they're telling you this is not the way, maybe you should go this way, maybe things should be done this way, learn to be accountable. Learn to acknowledge your mistakes and be ready to change. Learn to acknowledge what is wrong and learn how you can make it better. Don't be a hard person. Don't be a know-it-all person. Be ready to learn from others. Be ready to be accountable. And sometimes it's good when you have your few people that you trust, that you guys can be accountable in each other, especially when it comes to like things like maybe going to the gym or eating healthy or reading your Bible or praying together. You can have a group of sisters or brothers that you can be praying together. So when the time comes and you are not at work for prayer, they can be able to call you and tell, okay, it's time. Oh, you didn't come yesterday. What happened? Let's go back on track. That will help you to keep you in track. Because as much as God has called you alone to do this, but God will surround you with people, with helpers that will help you fulfill that destiny. So be ready to be accountable. Don't take it in a negative way. Always try to see the good out of it. How can I learn? What can I learn from this mistake? And how can I make things better? Because when we lack accountability, when we're not accountable before us, God, before the people that God has placed above us, it's hard for us to see if we're doing right or wrong. And sometimes we might think that you're doing right, but you're going in the wrong direction, and you end up missing on that assignment, on that thing that God has asked you to do. And one thing that I want to add to today, and which I think is actually bigger than any of what I have mentioned, is putting God first. Self-discipline is so hard without the help of God. It's really so hard to stay focused, organized, and is setting up your mind to do something when there's so much distractions around you. It's so hard to control yourself to do certain things that God has asked you when everybody around you is doing quite the opposite. So in all things that I've mentioned today, that are the key elements to self-discipline, we need the help of God in doing any of these things. So before any of that, when God has given you assignment, go back to God and tell Him that I need the strength. I need the grace to do what you have asked me to do. Because it's hard. Sometimes it can be so discouraging. Sometimes the people around you won't agree with you. The help that you expect might not be there. But if you learn that the one who has given me this assignment has enough grace to sustain me while doing this assignment, you'll be surprised. So we're gonna put God first while putting our goals, our ideas down. We're gonna put God first while we're taking our actions in doing what He has called us to do. We are going to put God first in our accountability. We are going to put God first in our routines and habits. Like every step, let's put God first. Let's ask him, is this what you want me to do? How? I have my goals down. Is this okay with you, Father? Before I go ahead. Okay, these are the actions that I have in place. This is what I wanted to. Do you think I should go ahead with you? This. And God is faithful. Because he's the one who has given you the assignment. He will tell you exactly what you need to do to fulfill that assignment. So today, as we're talking about self-discipline, I want you to look at yourself and see, how disciplined are you? And if you have stepped out of the way and you're not disciplined the way you think you should be, you still have time to adjust things. Because maybe some of us are not fulfilling our assignments because we are lacking that self-discipline. So today I want you to trust God. I want you to believe God. And ask God for the grace and strength to be disciplined, so you can be able to do the assignment that He's asked you to do. And that's all I have for you today. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.